Today we're going to talk about myofascial lines, and we have Polly Pocket here, and she's going to help us out and show us where it is. So, the superficial back line starts on the forehead and runs around the back and goes all the way down, and then under the feet is where it ends, and its postural function keeps us upright and prevents us from falling over into flexion. And then its movement function is to provide extension. So we can do a back bend or whatever. And that is our superficial back line. Sitting in this pike position would stretch out the back line. Polly Pocket number 2, here to help us show the superficial front line. And the superficial front line starts from the mastoid process and runs along the front of the body all the way to the toes. And the postural function is to help balance out the back line and keep the knees extended and to hold up the rib cage and pelvis. The movement function of the superficial front line is to flexion in the torso. So flexion in the torso and knee extension and dorsiflexion of the foot. This back bend would be stretching out the front line. The superficial front line also its function is to hold in the organs. We have this lateral line. The lateral line goes from the occipital ridge and the mastoid process and does 3 X's across the trunk and then down to the side of the foot. And its postural function is to balance us left and right. And its movement function is lateral flexion of the trunk, like so, and abduction of the hip. Acts as a brake of sorts for lateral and rotational movements. Next we have the spiral line, and the spiral line wraps around the body in 2 spirals, hence spiral. Goes around, through the middle, down the leg, up back around the leg, and then back up, and then down the other side, wraps the body in a spiral. And the spiral line's function is to maintain balance across all planes because it crosses all planes. And its movement function is to mediate or control rotational movements. We have the functional lines. We have the front and the back. They don't do much postural stabilizing, but they are involved in movement and they counterbalance each other. So say this arm's up, this arm would move with it, or they're connected. So one's contracted, so is the other. Same on the other side. And they give us extra power with movements and also precision by lengthening the lever arm. I'd like to thank my friends in helping me capture the myofascial lines in all their glory.